Well, Colin, a big thank you for joining us. And before we get to talking about the playoffs, let's have a bit of a catch up about how the season's gone more generally to this point. It's been pretty impressive. How's it gone?
Season's gone really well. I think it's gone really well right from the start of pre-season. I think we had a good first year last year, getting everything sort of off the ground at pretty short notice. And at the end of the season, we were, quite happy with what we'd done and what we'd achieved. But I was really keen that this year that we would kick it on and do more and do things better than we did last year. So, yeah, really pleased with that. Right from the start of pre-season, playing in the Super League Nines, doing okay there. And then obviously our league form has been good. We've been a little bit patchy in parts, but obviously you can't complain finishing the season on top of the league. And that's it's a real great achievement by the players to get ourselves into that position where we have this home playoff. So, it's been really good. Hard work, as always, but good.
And certainly the last game of the regular season against Cardiff, just a couple of weeks ago, a phenomenal result right there. And how pleased were you with that performance?
I think we have to accept that in the short history of Women's Super League South, Cardiff have set the benchmark. And I did say this to their players in the after match presentations last week before last, and they set that benchmark. So that also sort of is a barometer to how much it meant to our players to go over there and play against a really good team and to come out, successful, really tight game. Really a real good game of rugby league. And, that I think also the actual game itself is a bit of a benchmark about where I think the competition should be. We've obviously got a little bit of a way to go with that. But really pleased. It was a really good day, really good occasion, and everyone really enjoyed it.
And talking about, getting into the playoffs the way you have done this season, we do have to compare it to last year. And do you feel headed into the season there was a bit of unfinished business with regards to the playoffs this year, and what your expectations were for what's possible building upon what was a good season last year, like you said earlier?
Yeah, we wanted to improve, and we wanted to improve on what we did last year, and that was across the piece, with everything. And I think we've managed to do that, within the sort of budgetary realities, and being run, we're all volunteers who are part of it. So, there probably is a glass ceiling on how much you can achieve, but we wanted to get closer to that. And I think we have done. I think we're always aware from the start of the season that Cardiff were going to be, again, the pace setters for the competition, which, they did turn out to be. So for us to go and to match them in that, I think it is a great indication of where we've come. But I think that's probably an outcome. There's been lots of process stuff that we've done since the start of the season that we learnt from last year, or things we just physically weren't able to do last year because it was so short notice the way we got up and running. It just shows the difference you can have when you've got suddenly. Last year we had to assemble a group of players. This year we had a real returning core of players that we've been able to add to. We've been able to start training earlier, and all of those things, all of those processes add up to what happened 2 weeks ago.
So let's go to the next game then. Before we talk about off the pitch stuff, because there's cracking things happening this weekend, just about the challenge of Bedford. There was quite an epic game between the pair of you, wasn't there, a few weeks back, early on in the season. So what's your thoughts on the challenge this weekend on the pitch?
Yeah, on the pitch, it'll be a big challenge. I've said before when we played Bedford last time, Bedford have got some good players. They've got some good rugby league players, but they've also got some good, just general rugby players, if you like, who can, really cause us a problem. And they've got some players that could probably go the length of the pitch against us. So we need to be really cautious of that. I'm sure that they will come on Sunday to the stadium, which is obviously going to be a great event. They'll be really pumped up for that. And they will realise that they're also one game away from a grand final. So, I'm sure they won't leave anything on the pitch they will come out, and I think it'll be a really exciting game for the spectators who are coming along. But I also think it's going to be a tough game, which we need to prepare properly for this week.
And it's all part of a double header as well, with the men's team taking on Workington Town, also happening at Plough Lane. Brilliant stuff. What's your thoughts on the way the London Broncos have gone at this game this weekend? Because it feels like it's pretty pivotal stuff.
I think it is. I think it's when pivotal is probably an interesting word that you use. So in terms of the season, I think particularly for the club and the men's side of the club, obviously there's it's been a bit of a roller coaster, and Mike is doing a fantastic job since he's taken over, and there is now the men's team are looking above them rather than below them, which is great. And I think it's nice, to see things dovetailing towards that back end of the season. It's nice for us to be, in terms of like a club, where we are sharing that event on Sunday. It's a real big thing. We had one double header last season, ironically against Bedford, at Ealing Trailfinders, and that was a great day that everyone enjoyed. That was a league game. It wasn't a playoff or a semi-final, but it was really, really enjoyed by all the players and the staff, and also know that the men's players who watched it also really enjoyed it. So there's lots to look forward to on Sunday, and I think it's a real good thing for the club. And just in terms of the club, I also like to shout out to Chris Baxter and Dan and Matt, who coached the academy, who helped us before the Cardiff game. So with our Friday night training session, we had a bit of a unopposed type run against them, and that was really good for our players to have to suddenly make those decisions that they perhaps get a bit more time to make under a lot more pressure. And that, I think they all agreed that benefited them when we played Cardiff the following day. So that there is a club thing going on at the moment, and it's really good.
Yeah, and what's the mood in the dressing room like about having to play at I've interviewed members of the men's team who play at Plough Lane, and it's just a fantastic facility, isn't it? So what's the mood in the dressing room like about playing at such a venue this weekend? I suppose as well from a coaching point of view, I think you touched upon this earlier, you don't want the occasion to take over too much because you have got a job to do this weekend. Yeah, absolutely, and that is very much at the front of my mind, really. But in terms of the players, I think they're really excited about it. Plough Lane and Cherry Tree Record Stadium is one of those new generation of sporting stadiums, isn't it? And there are a few around the country now, and it's really exciting to have the opportunity to play there. We're all trying to get trying to push in terms of the tickets and get a few people there, and hopefully quite a few of those people who come to watch will stick around and watch our game afterwards, because I think they'll really enjoy it. And I think the ones who haven't really watched it before, and there is a core of the London Broncos supporters who do come to our games. So if the men's team are playing away, there is a core of them who come along to Roslin Park, where we've been playing our home games, and support us. And the players absolutely love that and react to it in a really positive way. So again, I think that's just another indicator, if you like, of how we're moving forward as a club, I think. And last question, Colin, how much are you looking forward to this weekend for you personally as well? I mean, we mentioned about the players, but how much are you looking forward to this? And, one game at a time. We're obviously in the playoffs now. It's going to be a big 80 minutes, isn't it? It is. I'm looking forward to it as much as you can with the coaching. And I actually, it's funny, the ref last Saturday against Cardiff made a comment to me, and he said, it was a cracking game. I said, yeah, it's just a shame I didn't get to enjoy it. Subsequently, I've watched it on the video and I've been able to enjoy it. So it puts you through the ringer when you're watching it. And obviously I've got, lots of things on my mind between now and then. We've got 2 training sessions, including one tonight, that I want to get right. So I'm very much approaching it in that way. But I'm sure at about 5:25 on Sunday afternoon, evening, I'll certainly be excited about it and looking forward to it.